I'm here at the park and we are discussing about how to find your purpose in this world of people when they are shouting to you online that you need to become famous or just be maximum ultra super rich, and kind of like how to find meaning on your purpose and what you want inside of yourself instead of listening to others. So to do what you want when you want and like how you want with your own rules and values and principles. So I was here in the park and I met successful entrepreneur and he will be asking me questions and we don't know each other for context, so he's kind of like stranger and we just met like 10 minutes ago and yeah, we'll just get started.
So how do you advise and coach people your age and people that are looking up to you as an authority in success? How do you advise them to succeed in business but at the same time stay true to their sense of purpose, stay connected to something from the inside?
So how I advise young men to make money online but at the same time stay true to themselves?
Correct, which means my premise is when you stay true to yourself, you get nourished, you get energized. One of the ways to know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing is you feel a flow, a wave of energy. When you try to copy somebody else, to be somebody else, you feel brittle, you feel that it weakens you.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, the microphone is like, you should be closer to the microphone. But, so, yeah, I see your point. People try to copy others, and I think how I approach this, like instead of me copying others, I try to kind of like mimic and model my mentor. So my mentor, his name is Sam, and he was running this successful company called Consulting. And what I do is that I'm kind of like his apprentice, and he showed me how I should build my business and I followed it, and then I improved his model. So instead of staying at the apprentice, now I'm basically continuing where he left because he retired. So now he owns a software company called school.com. So how I do this, if I see someone who is successful, first I try to mimic and then I tailor it to my own, with my own twist, and make it something that works for me, that is something I like to do and love to do. If I don't love doing it, I think I'm doing something wrong. So I work daily like 16 hours, not because I need to, I only need to work like 4 hours or 6 hours, but I love working for like 16 hours every day, 7 days a week, without talking to anyone except my clients and my viewers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you have found a unique way to bring your gift, your talent, in a way that's meaningful for you and creates value for people that follow your work. So for you, there is a sense of alignment between your work and what creates value. Many people struggle with that. They love something, they have a passion, they don't necessarily immediately find the framework through which to benefit others. And
what do you mean?
They don't have a business model that will actually naturally, easily flow out of their passion, which is quite all right. Somebody likes to play music, but he's not a professional musician. They're not in a place to actually turn that into a revenue-generating activity.
Yeah.
But my bigger picture view of this is that we're living through a time of a much larger change in humanity. I've been for 3 decades working with senior executives in the largest companies in the world, helping them develop their strategy and create business success. But I've also had a separate life, so to speak, that lived next to that business success, in which I've cultivated personal development, spiritual development, and the life of purpose.
Yeah.
About which, by the way, you can find a lot of content on my YouTube channel, which is called Portals of Perception.
Portals of
Perception. You'd find it on YouTube, and you can also find the website portalsofperception.org.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested, check it out. This channel is called Portals of Perception.
Yes.
Yes.
My question to you is, say a little more about what was the breakthrough for you. What was the point where you struggled with something and you're able to connect the pieces together, and suddenly a possibility opened for you that was not open for you before?
So I started my first company in 2015, and I did not have like any like father figure to show me like what to do, kind of like, or role model who to look up to. So first thing I did was selling like these nicotine pouches, and I don't think it's that ethical because I was not using it, but I was selling at school. And then I actually sold this nicotine pouch as a business. I had like social media account, and I sold it to a classmate for 200 euros. That was my first experience. See, it had the leads, the prospects, sales list, contact list, and then in 2022, after being entrepreneur for 7 years, I tried 10 different business models, and I was doing investing into like stocks first, like index funds. Then I realized I need to make more money. I did trading. I made from 5k to 110 or 130k, and then it was going down, and then I found out about cryptocurrencies. I found out about that, and I'm a very extreme person, so I'm like, we need to go from stocks trading to cryptos. So I went to cryptos, and I basically scaled my portfolio to 185,000. And then I was showing off to all my friends that I have so much money, I'm so rich. And then I think God humbled me. My portfolio went down, I lost everything. And what was so painful was not that I lost all the money, but it was more about I did not have anything to show for it, meaning I didn't have any skills, I didn't have any education, and I was just at zero without anything to show for it. And then I started again new business. I was working a 9-to-5 job at Salesforce. I was getting paid good. My on the target earnings salary was 72,000 or 73,000 euros. And there I realized that I'm getting paid like 3 times to 4 times more than my school buddies, school friends, and from my friend group. But it felt like monotonous. You go to work every day, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and you're working with companies. I mean, I was selling to public sector, so hospitals in Finland and electricity companies like Helen, these companies, and it didn't feel like my purpose. It did not feel like my purpose. It was not aligned with my purpose, with my. It did not give me like fulfillment. And it felt empty. I was making 6,000 euros per month, and to some people in Finland it's like a lot of money, 6,000 euros per month. But for me, I'm like, I want to fulfill my potential fully. I wanted to become a millionaire.
Because why?
I wanted to become a millionaire because in beginning it was more about proving my friends, family, and my ex-girlfriend that like I am someone.
Yeah.
But then when I became millionaire, I realized people don't care, and it was also again empty. So I started my first company while working at Salesforce. So I was waking up at 5 a.m. or from 5 a.m. until 9 a.m. I was working on my business on the side.
Yeah.
And then I got off at 5 p.m. I was continuing working on my business, and I was watching this one YouTuber, this mentor Sam, on YouTube, and he said, the old way of making money online as a young man is selling courses on one-time fees. The new way is selling masterminds and communities for recurring fees.
Yes.
I was like, interesting. I want to make that. I want to make that. So he made sales presentation video, showing product called VTube, same as that I do right now. So I saw the video, I'm like, I want to buy this. He said, you need to pay $99 application fee, then they will contact you and see if you're a good fit for you to pay $9,800 for the 1 year mastermind for like community. And I was like, this is cheap, you know, this is cheap because in the past I was actually, you know, you can hack courses for free. You can just basically hack and pay $15, pirate. You can pirate courses.
But this was not a course, this was joining a community.
This was
joining a mastermind.
Yes. So the difference was not the information that's available publicly, it was community and
accountability structure, peer coaching, shared purpose. One day you feel down and somebody feels up, so they pick you up. The following day you reverse roles and you pick them up and you inspire each other into greatness. But see, in your story, your initial propulsion was to become millionaire, such that you'll impress your ex-girlfriend and your friends. So in that moment in time, I will describe your motivation as
anger
and exterior to you.
Yes.
You were looking to find your self-value by converting money into the appreciation of others rather than seeking to find your self-worth, your self-value because of the person you are, because of the talents you have, because of the gifts you have. These are different sources of value.
Yeah.
What people are now, many people are sick mentally, emotionally, spiritually
100%.
because they feel empty, as you said.
Yeah.
And emptiness sucks the life out of them. And I propose to you that part of it is the cultural moment that we find ourselves in globally. We're going through a changeover from an old epoch to a new epoch. And in the new epoch, epoch is a large period of time. I talk about that extensively on Portals of Perception. The last 5,000 to 7,000 years, all the way from the ancient world, ancient cultures, the ancient Egyptian culture, the ancient Greek cultures, ancient Indian culture, the time where the old religions arose, and the run-up through the Renaissance and the Enlightenment, the scientific revolution, the industrial revolution, we are now at an end of a 7,000-year cycle.
It's scary.
No, it's wonderful.
You sure?
Yes.
What do you think about like robots and AI?
Robots and AI will ultimately force us to reclaim our humanness. And you are on the frontier of that, my friend. Because ultimately, if you're going to be successful in doing what you're doing, which is cultivating a thriving community, at some point, if it will only be about teaching other people to be millionaires, it will run out, because only very few people will actually be able to emulate it, to copy it. Very, very few. Most people will not succeed in doing so. But if you create a community of purpose, if you create a community of practice, if you can create a community of shared meaning.
Shared what?
Shared meaning.
Shared meaning.
Shared meaning and purpose.
Kind of like religion. Well, I mean, not that's like maybe too extrovert, but like right worldview and paradigm for them.
Yeah, but my point is, rather than thinking about it as religion, I would suggest that it's an authentic, natural response to the starvation, the hunger in people.
Okay, starvation. Okay, yeah.
So this is a time for you, my friend. It's a time for you to thrive. Now, not everybody of the people following you will be able to emulate it and copy what you do. Some will, and they will become your core circle. Core ring around you.
Yes.
Whenever you build a thriving community, different people are. It's like the atomic structure. It's like quantum mechanics. You have the nucleus, and around the nucleus you have another sphere and different orbits.
Yes.
And different people need the nourishment of different orbits. And that's all right. You need to build into your community infrastructure these different orbits, different gradients for people to participate in.
Ecosystem.
Different ecosystems. so that they can find themselves. Some people want to meet on a weekly basis. Some people need daily engagement.
That's what we do.
Some people would want to come to one event, and you need to be able to provide different systems, different ecosystems to engage them for what they need, and obviously build a membership business model that will support that, and each of the ecosystem will want to gain some access to you.
Yeah, we are basically selling two products, like two ecosystems that way. Basically, our first paid product, the front end price, it's called VTube, and it's 12-month mastermind, and it's for aspiring business owners and beginner business owners who are currently, making 5K to 30K per month, and their goal is to make 100K per month, and that's basically priced at 9.8K for a year. And what they get is basically they get mentorship directly from me. They get collaboration calls with other similar minded, entrepreneurs and business owners who have, following the same model, and they follow the same methodology and practices, and they all share similar worldview that I teach them. And then the higher level, the group, that's basically, I have not decided name for it actually yet. It's kind of like 1 year partnership, but it's mastermind. First name that come to my mind was like God, but it's like maybe too extreme. Something about maybe like
you would alienate some who would want to engage not with something that they associate with religion or spirituality. You can call it the diamond circuit.
I was thinking about like my mentor called it quantum.
Quantum is good. The diamond circuit, the platinum,
VIP.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like $100,000 for a year. So it's like $12,000 for a month. So, and then the third option, so my value ladder is like first they pay 10K, then it's like 100K, and the last one is basically I want to like partner like for real and take equity.
But they will need to find, well, first of all, you got to identify that you're serving few needs.
Selling what?
You're serving several needs.
Yes.
People want to learn concrete practical skills that will help them get results.
Yes.
They want to solve specific problems that they have in their business that
Yes.
which you could cover in your mentorship.
Yep.
You're also selling a mindset.
Big thing.
And not only a mindset, you're selling the energetic element behind the mindset, because mindset is not just words. Mindset is an energy system, an energy body. You need to embody the mindset so they get from you the impulse, the energetic impulse that enables them to enact and bring the mindset to life. And I would say to you that beyond that, they're looking for relationship with each other. And maybe the fifth dimension is, in some, there is a desire beyond that to belong to a community.
100%.
Makes a difference. So you need to make a decision whether this is purely driving people to success, to entrepreneurial success. Is this purely money-making endeavor, or is there another aspect in it? If it's a money-making project and you call it God, it would be very confusing for people.
I think it's more like it could be like elite. Elite could be the option name for that. But I want to teach mindset, but
your name is Eli.
Eli.
Yeah, so when you add the T at the end, it becomes the word elite.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. But I just realized that people believe they need tactics and strategies, but what they actually believe is internal stuff to implement the tactics, frameworks, playbooks, and blueprints. So instead of me always just teaching them this is like 5-step sales process or sales funnel, I need to first teach them like fundamentals. You need to sleep 8 hours, because sleep, your pineal gland, is very important. People don't take that into account. Then like you need to have like some breathe air. I go to the park to breathe air, have some fitness, some health needs to be good. Food, the foods I eat, I consume, they need to be clean so the engine works properly. Because it's very important for your mind and performance, for you to operate, and if you want to like get stuff done and have clarity and focus. Because as you know, the most important thing in business is like first like having drive and ambition and being relentless.
Yeah,
then it's like channeling that with laser focus into the goals by focusing on like the biggest constraint and bottleneck in the business. So I read this book by Eliyahu Goldratt. He has this book, you maybe know it, yeah? So like Tree of Constraints.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we need to identify the biggest constraint and laser focus into that one and solve that one.
That's one approach.
Yes, and
I've taken another approach.
Okay, tell me your approach.
Well, I've written about this approach in the book Create New Futures that you can buy online on Amazon or anywhere. Create New Futures.
Create your futures.
Create New Futures.
Create new futures.
How leaders change the world through conversation.
Okay.
Now, let me just pause on what you said there, because you said some very important things. The first thing you said is, before I teach any skills, people need to keep the machinery, the human instrument, the body, the mind, the soul they live with healthy and fit, or else nothing works. Number one. Number two, it's insufficient to teach somebody a bunch of skills and practices, because it's their self-view, self-worth that defines how they apply themselves. If somebody suffers from tremendous insecurity and inferiority and a sense of inadequacy, I'm not good enough, I'm not something else enough, you can teach them skills until tomorrow, and they won't have the inner instrument, they won't have the platform to apply. So you're bringing all these dimensions to the people you're working with. All of that is part of they look up to you to provide guidance to all those domains, and that means you need to become the example, the exampleship, the embodiment. You know the word embodiment?
Like Napoleon, like a leader, like lead by example.
That's right. The embodiment means you embody, you have those qualities in your body. These are not just words, not just concepts. They are living processes, living states, living energy inside your system.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's going to happen, the most exciting thing is that when you grow further the community around you, they will continue to propel you forward. They will induct new teaching and new knowledge, because their need becomes your opportunity.
Yes.
And that's how you build a community. You build a community because you become an answer to their need. And they help you discover capacity and talent and knowledge that's latent in you. Do you know the word latent? It's dormant in you. You didn't even know you knew that, but when you face the question and the challenge and the opportunity, you induct the knowledge. That's what's exciting about the life of entrepreneur. Life of an entrepreneur is you're not just following someone else's blueprint.
Yeah.
You are marrying your unique gift and talent. Yes, your God-given unique talent and gift with the need around you, with something else that begins to join you and guide you in your process. And then you write books and you bring new knowledge to the world. That's what I've been doing for now 4 decades.
What gives you the most meaning?
I'm finding meaning right now in speaking with you. What gives me, I am financially free, I don't need to work. What gives me meaning is when I engage with people that are on the leading edge of their domain. It can be in business, it can be in sports, it can be in the arts, it can be in spirituality, and that they're at the edge of their discovery and they need guidance to get to the next level. That's where I come. And because of that, for example, I've made a focus study of Olympic champions for 4 decades. Do you know who Maurice Green was? Maurice Green was in the Sydney Olympic in 2000.
Runner.
Was the 100-meter dash.
Okay,
runner.
I remember. That's how runner. Okay. Yeah.
I remember. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. I saw an interview with him a day before the race,
Okay.
and he said, and I'm quoting, "The race tomorrow has already happened.
Race tomorrow.
The race tomorrow has already happened." Because in his mind, the race already happened.
Yeah, yeah.
All I need to do is go out there tomorrow and go through the motions. He was teaching us a lesson. What Maurice Green was teaching us was that vision is not something you do once every 3 months in a workshop. Vision is something you live into every day. He lived into the vision of the race. He imagined a million times every day in his practice how he was going to explode at the beginning of the race and how he was going to unlock this extraordinary energy that was going to lead him to be first. He actually created that reality. That's why he could say, the race tomorrow has already happened. He was teaching us something about true vision. Vision is not words. Vision is not concepts. Vision is not just something you draw on a piece of paper. Vision is something you have lived into in the future, and you bring the future into the present. That is a teaching from him. So I was learning from Olympic champions 2 and 3 or 4 decades ago, and I was teaching it to executives. Now, do you know who David Popovici is?
I have heard about him.
He's the fastest swimmer in the world. A young Romanian guy, is a brilliant swimmer, fastest swimmer in the world. I watched a conversation with him just a few days ago. He described that from the age of 10, there wasn't a day he did not think about being an Olympic champion. In the Paris Olympics, just a couple of years ago, he finally won the gold medal in the 200 freestyle. And two important things in the conversation. Initially, he discovered that swimming was all about efficiency. Swimming was all about efficiency.
Efficiency, yeah.
If he could make his form, if he could make his style as efficient as can be, he would be faster than anybody else. He would be able to grab more water and excel himself.
What you told me, my mind heard about have you heard about Tim Grover? Tim Grover.
Yeah, but let me just complete the story about
Yes.
David Popovici. After the Olympics, he discovered that he now won the gold medal. Now comes your story. I didn't forget.
Okay.
And something in him felt empty.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
You made $1 million and you felt something in you was empty. Because the $1 million didn't make you stronger in you. You had an amazing achievement. But what about your self-value? What about your self-worth? What about finding meaning and purpose and love and well-being and grace and all those other things? And he discovered something amazing. He discovered that he won the gold medal because he built a machine. He made himself a machine, but in the process he lost his joy.
He lost his joy.
Joy and happiness.
Yes.
So it took 1.5 years to rewire his brain, to rewire his mind. And he discovered now his philosophy is a happy swimmer is a fast swimmer. And I will translate it to your world. A happy entrepreneur is a successful entrepreneur. Because you're moving in a state of flow, connected to purpose, doing something meaningful that you love, and because of it you're nourished. And whether you win every day the deal or not doesn't actually define your self-view. You are rooted in something beyond the momentary success. That's the teaching from Popovici. Today, the fastest swimmer in the world. Probably in the next few weeks or months, he will break again the world record in the 100-meter freestyle. And so, my lesson there, my teaching there is, we can learn from everybody, and we can certainly learn from every Olympic champion. And I think there is tremendous relevance to your world and to what you do, because you're in a way trying to become, for entrepreneur in Finland and possibly beyond Finland.
I don't focus on Finland at all.
Yeah, Nordic countries, Europe, what?
No. My goal is to
Be global?
my external materialistic goal is to be. It sounds
Just say
Okay, it's just becoming world's richest man. That's my North Star.
becoming
But
world what?
world's richest man of all time. But how I will make it happen is by having meaning why I do what I do, which is to make my team rich, number one. Number two, helping my clients get rich, number two. Because if I don't help my clients who are paying me, I can't help my team. If I don't help my team, I don't make money. And why I make money is I'm basically building software company called Eli AI. And then after that software company, I want to build the third thing, which is basically robotics company.
Yeah.
And instead of focusing on like just money, 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 for me money is like tool. Why I make money is so I can invest into the product that I'm developing next. So the thing what I'm doing right now, building communities and cash flow.
I understand that, but I will challenge you in listening to you that if you say that your North Star is to become the richest man on earth, you're setting yourself for failure, number one, because you're going to compete with somebody like Elon Musk and others who essentially didn't. Elon Musk didn't say I want to be the richest person on earth. You can disagree with many of his values, but what he said, I'm going to focus on the biggest problem humanity is facing and I'm going to solve them. And by solving those, I will create immense value. So I would suggest to you that perhaps there is another way to articulate. Instead of deciding you should be the richest person on earth, how about if you said, my purpose, my North Star is to unlock my fullest potential, to create value for as many people as I can, to transform their lives, and through that value creation, unlock immense possibilities for me beyond what I can even imagine today. That, to me, is more grounded in truth rather than comparative. I'll be the richest person in the world. Because, okay, Bill Gates was for many years the richest person in the world. If that was his goal, he's now failing. But it wasn't his goal. He then devoted a big chunk of his money to his foundation. He's doing wonderful things. He's solving many problems. So I would encourage you to focus on the value you create, the problem you solve, the help you give others, and let the riches and the richness of it translate itself for money in the way it would, rather than setting yourself for failure.
I got the idea what you just said. It was basically, instead of just focusing on me and in giving myself like the inside, how did you say it? Like I need to get value,
self-worth,
kind of like that, but giving that value, kind of like, you maybe have heard about the term called gnosis, finding inside knowledge.
Yes.
So giving that gnosis, the inside knowledge to people.
Yes.
So they become, instead of thinking about me, I'm like, how can I change
your greatest value creation is helping other people unlock their greatest potential.
Yes, that was what I was saying.
Yeah.
Helping people unlock their inside, like gnosis, their inside of knowledge and their capabilities for them to see world differently and having new beliefs and giving them new beliefs, skills and traits and giving them the right paradigm and worldview so they can achieve more. And kind of like Steve Jobs says, like help them think differently.
That's right.
Be contrarian.
That's right.
And so they become builders, and when I help them and they build, it creates more competition, which means there's innovation, which creates value. And instead of me focusing on like, oh, I need to get the world's richest man, I help people become capable of being rich by giving them all the skills, traits and beliefs so they achieve more.
That's right.
And then based on that, the meaning why I make money is to help them. And then based on that, I create this goodwill, reciprocity, and it funnels into my different products.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your initial North Star and vision statement
was pretty bad.
Stipulated or imagined you being the sun and having planets revolving around you. But the bigger thing than that is helping many other people become their own sun so they have their solar system. if you're helping other people become their own solar system, what does that make of you? You're something greater than a sun. You are a higher level than sun level. You become star level.
Go deeper on that. That was interesting. That was very insightful. Go deeper in that.
Well,
how would you explain it to, let's say, to 18-year-old man in like simple terms?
The first explanation is that when you unlock possibilities for others, you unlock possibilities for you. That's the foundation of it.
Yeah.
The second appreciation is we live in a threefold system. We live on planet Earth, and we have a moon we see at night. And the moon doesn't have an atmosphere and doesn't have these beautiful trees and people walking on it. It doesn't have life yet. It is still building. It's young in its evolutionary story. It's still building its atmosphere. We have this wonderful place we call Earth, which we forgot to learn how to look after it. We need to solve that problem. But see, every life here is actually powered by sunlight. We are in Helsinki. We are recording this in August, so we enjoy the sunlight here, and the days are long. Soon enough, they will be here very short days. But still, life on planet Earth completely depends on the source of life, the source of energy of the sun. So when you look at people, people are either moons or planets or suns. If there are moons, they are in a consumption mode. They need to get all babies, all toddlers, all children are still in the moon stage of their life. They depend on other people nourishing them.
Yep.
When people grow up through the youth and become adults, they hopefully begin to take care of themselves, so they become more like the planet. What you're doing is you're trying to become a sun to inspire in others their capacities. So you're no longer just taking care of yourself, you're trying to inspire others to their potential. When you do that at a higher level, you help people not just become planets, but you help other people become like suns. When you help other people become suns, it unlocks in you capacity that's higher than sun level. What's higher than sun level is understanding the way creation works, the whole ray of creation. The ray of creation contains levels higher than moon, planet, and sun.
That's a very interesting paradigm. Something I struggle with, and maybe you struggle in the past, how do you stay present? Like, how do you always stay present and like calm and collected and focused?
Yeah, it's a great question. The reason people struggle to stay present, they're in their heads. They're in their heads. They think what they're supposed to do, what they're supposed to say next, and so on and so forth. But why they're in their heads is because many of us, we experience an anxiety that we're not good enough, that we need to show off or show up in a different way. So that's a journey. That's not something you fix in one day. But learning to appreciate yourself, learning to appreciate your talent, learning to listen to your body. Sometimes you can be present by taking a deep breath. Like right now, you are sitting on the grass. Feel the grass you're sitting on. Feel the heart pulsating in your body. Feel your blood flowing in your veins. Get present to this ecology. And that's one way to become present. For some people, they become present by caring deeply for somebody or for something. The different pathways into care. Different pathways into presence and different pathways into care. That's the significance and that's the meaning of personal development. These are the right questions. And that's why it's not just about making money.
I don't think it's only about making money, because you can't make money if you can't stay present and be in the moment. For example, I think my biggest weakness
You were in the moment when I was walking here, right?
I don't feel like I was in a moment. I was in a rush, something to do something,
Yeah,
have
but
meeting
you
with him.
but
Yeah.
you said to me, "Do you want to be on camera?"
Yeah.
And I said, "No, I just finished an intensive workshop. I'm just doing my
Oh, you're in the workshop.
I just finished a 3-day workshop before we started speaking."
What was the main lesson you gave to executives, to CEOs?
Well, the first lesson was that which is the core idea of Create New Futures, is you imagine and envision the future like Maurice Green did in the 100-meter dash, and you work from the future backward. That's lesson one. Lesson two is that what I've found in researching this for 3 decades, the most successful teams are not made of the most brilliant people. The most successful teams are those teams that are passionate about learning. Every day they learn something. Every day that they're committed to make any experience, any sales experience, any sales conversations, any problem solving experience, they're committed to not only solve the problem, but to learn how to solve the problem better next time. So it's building a culture of learning and passionate, obsessed focus on learning that would make them excel. That was the second lesson. The third lesson.
Regards to first lesson, you said like think about future and work reverse engineering backwards.
Correct.
If there was like 3 steps, how would you like put it into like 3 steps or 5 steps?
Well, ask yourself what success would look like in 5 years from now, and call that Horizon 3. Then work backward from Horizon 3 and say, if that is success, that is what success would look like. It can be with a product, can be with a business, can be with your life. You want to own a house, you want to have a family, whatever it is. You imagine that 5-year Horizon 3 story and you say, well, if that's where I need to be 5 years from now, where would I need to be in Horizon 2? Horizon 2 would be 2.5 or say 3 years from now. And then you say, okay, now work backward from that. What must be true in the next 3 or 4 months? That's essentially the successive horizons methodology.
Okay. If you're like super concrete and practical, you would ask me, okay, there is horizon 3, right? So it's like 5 year. I mean, it's for me, it's like if you.
But what I teach senior teams in business is not to paint one story of the future, but to paint multiple stories and to create optionalities, to create options, and then work from 5 or 6 or 7 stories of the future into Horizon 2 to ask ourselves what are the capabilities, what are the capacities that we need to, what must be true in Horizon 2 to enable Horizon 3.
Makes sense. Do you have children, if I can ask you?
I do.
So,
my son runs now, he's on 2 companies and he's highly successful.
from high level, how did you give him the Horizon 3 and 2 and 1, like the structure?
Oh, we've had many conversations about it, and he came to a couple of my workshops with companies in Silicon Valley, and he saw me teaching it to them. But you're asking something else, so I'll answer a question you didn't ask me. You're asking me what's the most important thing you can do as a father.
What is it? What is the most important thing to
The
do as
most
a father?
important thing you can do as a father is to continue to. Often parents are the last to get updated about their children. They still treat their children as a 3-year-old or as a 5-year-old when they are now 9-year-old. And I always aspire to be attuned and follow his journey. So when he went to the first year of university, I said to him the following: you're now becoming adult. So I have a proposal for you. We will hold a weekly conversation, a weekly coaching, mentoring conversation.
Your son. Yeah.
Yes. We will change our relationship from father-son relationship to two adults on a journey. I am a little further up the journey from you, but you will bring capacities and skills that I could learn from. And what we will do in this conversation, weekly conversation, is I will coach you and you will coach me, because I want you to develop coaching skills. And you can only develop coaching skills by coaching me back. And then we started these conversations. And then one of the most important conversations we've had, maybe when he was 2 or 3 months in the university, I said to him, what do you think is your purpose? What is your goal and what is your purpose in this first year in university? And a lot of my teaching modality is by asking riddles. I always ask riddles. Why?
What?
I ask questions. I ask riddles.
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 Yeah, riddles.
Because I don't want to provide the answer. I want the other person I'm coaching, to come up with the answer. So if you were in a workshop with me in the last few days, you'd see I always ask new questions, because it's more powerful to unlock in people their potential. I'm not there to give answers. I'm there to ask questions so they can come up with answers. And I found a way to build a very lucrative consulting career by asking questions, not by having answers. So I asked him, what is the most important goal for you in the first year in university? And he tried and he said this and that. Finally, he came to the answer, which was his answer, which was the two most important things in his first year of university was, number one, to discover what interests him, which topics. He was taking physics and economics. I said, you go to all these courses to discover what really gets you going, what's energizing for you. Number one. Number two, discover how you learn best, because different people learn differently. Some people learn by reading. Some people learn by conversation, like we're having a conversation now. You need to discover what is your best pathway for learning. If you know what is energizing for you, and if you know how you learn best, you can do anything in this world. And he has proven it by being extremely successful quite early in life.
Yeah, I mean, I have internally found out that teaching, educating by talking, like you said, is the best way. The Feynman technique, you know Feynman? The physicist who was explaining complex topics to students.
He was teaching to be able to understand it himself.
Yes. And that's what I learned, that I need to implement this, and instead of me reading books, I try to read and then teach. And I do live streams to teach, and from live streams I can finally put out together like full video, like keynote, like Steve Jobs, like keynote style, long form that's explained and articulated complex topics and concepts into most simplified and easy to understand and implement format.
So I don't know how long we are on, but maybe an hour.
Yeah.
45 minutes. I shared with you maybe 30 or 40 ideas. So of all the ideas I shared with you, what's the one or two most important that you now hold on to as most essential, most important?
For me, the most important lesson I learned from you was, instead of being selfish and focusing on just myself and getting rich. I need to be kind of like sun, giving the energy and power to people so they become suns. Instead of focusing on like getting rich, I already knew like I need to solve big problems, because the bigger problem you solve, the more money you make. But how you articulated it more clearly, you said you need to unlock in myself the capability to unlock in other people so they become better and think bigger and think differently, so they achieve more, and then in return it will make me, money. So basically unlocking people's potential.
Yeah. So one of your gifts is you're highly coachable. In this conversation between us, you never let for a second pride stand in the way. You were more present to the conversation, more interested in learning than showing what you already know. And that's a gift. In other words, another way to say it is you love more truth. You love the truth and you love what works more than you love your self-view. And if you can transfer that to people in your community, you will help them unlock their potential, their possibility. So we've had a wonderful conversation. I was never on camera, so I'll come on camera now.
You want to come on camera? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Eli.
Aviv.
Yes. How much do you charge usually per hour for context? Because people think like, people don't understand the value of like CEO's time,
I don't charge per hour.
You don't charge per hour, but like it's probably tens of thousands easily. So for the viewer, it's easy. They need to understand that when people give value, like CEOs like you give value, they need to be like grateful. I'm very grateful because I understand that like you are hosting workshops for CEOs, you are charging out money, and you spending like almost like 1 hour.
It was fun.
It was fun, but it's like I'm grateful for that. Number one, and number two, Carl Jung, shadow.
Yeah.
So my shadow was I never had humility. I was never coachable. I had arrogance. I was like I don't need mentor. I don't need to.
Well, life has already humbled you.
Very hard.
And it's a gift.
Yeah.
Because now you're coachable.
Yeah.
Eli, it's been a pleasure.